Heavy rain on Sunday brought flooding in Victoria. And immigration raids continue across the country as Trump continues to threaten more action in Chicago. Plus, thousands gather in the Vatican to witness the canonization of a new saint.
And this morning, we are still tracking a cool front that will be here sometime between 7 and 9 a.m., bringing us some warm, sunny days this week, but some cool, clear nights. We'll talk about that in the weather coming up.
Well, good morning, Crossroads, and we're still fresh off of this battle of the boot high. We're going to be hearing from Victoria West quarterback Nolan Boyce. See what he has to say as for what's ahead for the Warriors coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and welcome to your Monday morning. Hope you're able to enjoy those showers and that didn't cause you some additional stress yesterday.
Yes, it was a bit of a wet day yesterday, Sunday.
I was so glad that I got to where I needed to be before it really rained heavy.
Right. I think a lot of y'all can say the same as well, because we got, I guess I would call it a beating in terms of rainfall. Because
so much rain.
Yes, here are the rainfall totals that we saw yesterday. You'll see some areas, we're talking just south of Edna, half a foot of rain. Yes, that's 6.1 inches of rain that was observed, at least on the Doppler. These were estimated Doppler readings. Some people likely saw a little bit higher than these totals on the screen, but you can see a lot of us saw some higher totals as well. 3.75 inches in northern Goliad County. And if we zoom in on Victoria County, we saw up to 4.5 inches in some areas. The city, however, saw between 2 to 3 inches. So not too bad of a day for rainfall, if you ask me. And today, that's going to be, that rain was thanks to a cool front pushing all that moisture down our way. And here's the cool front right here. It is passing through Wharton and Matagorda County right now. You can see it as indicated by the drier humidity behind it. Very humid in front of it, and we're still warm ahead of the front. Low, mid 70s, even some upper 70s on the coast. But behind the front, they're in the 60s, and that will be coming our way for the next few nights, so get ready. But if you're sending your kiddos out the door this morning, it's going to be just like it is right now. Humid, sunny, and it'll stay sunny and nice today. We'll have those details next.
A Victoria ISD principal was arrested overnight for driving while intoxicated. Sarah Young is the principal of Roland Elementary School. The ISD says they are aware of the arrest. Young was arrested just before midnight Sunday evening. Heavy rains in Victoria Sunday caused flooding in areas around the city. Navarro Street underpass is now reopened after being closed Sunday due to flooding. The intersections at Goodwin Avenue and East North Street were also closed to prevent vehicles from driving through the water. Police on the scene say the drainage under the bridge may have been somewhat clogged, slowing down the water runoff. The Office of Emergency Management suggests drivers turn around and avoid roads if they see flooding on their commute. Today, the City of Cuero will hold a public hearing on the city's tax increase since the proposed tax rate is not greater than the voter approval tax rate. So the city is not required to hold an election. The hearing at the City of Cuero Council Chambers, the hearing will be held in Council Chambers at 112 East Main Street. Victoria College's Associate Degree Nursing program has earned the top spot in the state. This ranking comes from registerednursing.org. This two-year program focuses on hands-on clinical experience, critical thinking skills, and foundational nursing principles. Impressively, the program boasts a 100% pass rate. Admission requires a high school diploma or GED, a minimum 2.0 GPA, and mandatory components such as criminal background checks and drug testing. President Trump threatening to send troops to Chicago, now explaining his social media post over the weekend in which he appeared to threaten war on the Windy City. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the latest.
This morning, authorities in South Korea say workers detained during a massive immigration raid on this Hyundai battery plant in Georgia last week will be returned to their home country on a chartered flight. Federal agents arrested nearly 500 people Thursday, most of them South Korean nationals.
ICE was doing right because they were here illegally.
President Trump last night called on foreign companies like Hyundai to respect U.S. immigration law, while saying he welcomes foreign workers who come here legally to train American workers.
If you don't have people in this country right now that know about batteries, maybe we should help them along and let some people come in and train our people to do, complex things.
Border Czar Tom Homan was asked if more raids like this one at Hyundai are expected soon.
The short answer is yes. We're going to do more work site enforcement operatives.
The administration also confirming a new immigration crackdown is underway in Boston, targeting, quote, the worst of the worst offenders. Chicago is expected to be next.
Solidarity is our shield.
Protests popping up around the city. The president drawing outrage after sharing this image with a twist on a quote from the movie Apocalypse Now, saying, quote, I love the smell of deportations in the morning, with the added line, quote, Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker writing, quote, the President of the United States is threatening to go to war with an American city. This is not a joke. This is not normal. Trump saying it's all about addressing crime.
We're not going to war. We're going to clean up our cities.
A new poll shows Americans oppose Trump's deployment of National Guard troops to Washington, D.C. and other cities, with Democrats and independents making up the majority of the opposition. Trump has also floated sending troops to New Orleans. But Jackson, Mississippi, Birmingham, Alabama, St. Louis, and Memphis have the highest murder rates in the country, according to the FBI. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to our viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We want to know, do you support the recent immigration raids and enforcement actions? 58% of you say yes, and 42% of you say no. Thank you for taking part in our viewer poll. Tens of thousands of Catholics gathered in St. Peter's Square Sunday to witness the canonization mass led by Pope Leo for Carlo Acutis, known as God's influencer. Acutis was an Italian teenager who died of leukemia in 2006. The teen sainthood was approved by the late Pope Francis after Acutis was credited with a pair of miracles. Many in the crowd holding photos of the first millennial saint in history, who will now be known as Saint Acutis. A recent report by the Quora Record says a local pharmacy is being absorbed by a major grocery chain in the state. Roos Pharmacy has been a consistent staple in Cuero since the late 1800s. It officially closed its doors on August 27th. Customers who filled their orders at the local pharmacy will now have to get their meds from the local Brookshire Brothers, not far from that location. That's according to the Quora Record. And the Quora Record also states that Roos was known as the oldest active pharmacy in the state. Victoria County Commissioners meet at 10 this morning. On the agenda is the review of the terminal replacement project at the Victoria Regional Airport. They'll also announce a public hearing on the 2026 proposed Victoria County budget and hold a public hearing on proposed changes to traffic regulations in Precinct 3. The court meets in room 241 on the second floor of the Victoria County Courthouse. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, let's get a look at our clock up here at 6:38 on our Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. Something big is almost ready in Victoria County. We'll show you what's coming and why it matters for animals and staff.
Russia launches its largest ever aerial assault on Ukraine. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with the details and how the White House is responding this morning.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, you heard me say today, not going to be too bad of a day for temperatures. So coming up next, I'll tell you just how warm I think it'll be near you. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Monday. It's a brand new week. I want to let y'all know for a brand new week, we are starting out the day or the week. Not too bad for temperatures, all that thanks to the cool front that will be blowing through for the entire day today. It'll be here somewhere between 7 to 9 a.m. I'm thinking here in Victoria. And like I said earlier, you'll notice it when the winds shift out of the northeast instead of the east or the north. They'll be northeast and they'll pick up to about 10 miles an hour. But with that dry air mass starting to blow through the area today, and it'll be with us for the rest of the week, we're looking at lots and lots of sunny skies. I'm just going to press play and you're going to see lots of that on your future tracker all day today, all tonight, all overnight tonight. And all through tomorrow, Tuesday as well, we're going to be looking pretty clear. So make sure you got your sunglasses packed, I'm thinking, for the entire week. But underneath that beaming sun for today and today only, thanks to the northeasterly wind blowing, gusting at 15 miles an hour at times, that'll bring temperatures mid-70s by 9 a.m. Noontime, mid-80s, I'm thinking. But in the afternoon, we'll heat up a little bit more. I'm thinking low 90s for highs, 91 in Victoria, which is right where it should be. 92 is our average this time of year. But here's everybody else. You can see everyone, pretty much everyone is in the low 90s. Some of us lucky in the upper 80s, thinking 92 in Cuero, 91 in Port Lavaca. But here's the fun part. Lows, they're going to be in the 60s for the first time since June 12th. That's the last time we were in the 60s, y'all. And it'll be with us for a couple nights, lows in the 60s before they're back in the 70s and highs in the mid 90s later this week. We'll look at that next.
We are preparing for week 3 in Crossroads. We still have a handful of teams that are still undefeated, including the Victoria West Warriors. After their impressive Friday night victory, I also had the opportunity to catch up and talk with quarterback Nolan Boyce to discuss the game and what lies ahead for the team.
Everybody worked through all the hard moments in the game and all the good moments in the game. We took in everything and we came out and won. Definitely looking forward to Jarrett coming back soon. We had to move our receiver room around a little bit and kind of mess with some things, but we made it work. With Jarrett coming back, I think he's going to be the missing piece in the puzzle that's just going to keep, not missing, we did great today, but he's going to be a better piece in the puzzle that elevates our offense even better.
Great words from Nolan. Let's see how much more the Warriors can get better in week 3. The Warriors have 2 more non-district games, and their week 3 matchup will see them back at Memorial Stadium battling Sam Houston. But that does it for your 25 News Now Sports. Until next time, I'm Ray Robinson.
This morning, rescue teams searching for survivors after Russia launched its largest ever aerial assault on Ukraine over the weekend as the talks on the war continue. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the details.
This morning, Ukraine recovering from the largest aerial assault since the war began. Over the weekend, Russia launching more than 800 drones and 13 cruise missiles across the country. The attacks killing at least 8 people and injuring 59 others. This man visiting Kyiv saying that while world leaders look for solutions, nothing has changed and that the situation is getting worse. And in the capital city of Kyiv, the main government building on fire. The Ukrainian prime minister posting this video saying, quote, "It looks like Russia is not seeking peace." ABC's chief global affairs anchor Martha Raddatz interviewed President Zelensky before the attack.
We all understand that we need additional pressure on Putin. We need pressure from the United States. And I said that I think that President Trump is right about that. Europeans, I'm very thankful to all the partners, but some of them, they continue buy oil and Russian gas, and this is not fair.
Now, Zelensky is calling on the United States and Europe to do more to end the war. It comes less than a month after President Trump met with Vladimir Putin in Alaska to discuss a ceasefire.
It's a pity that Ukraine was not there, because I think that President Trump gave Putin what he wanted. He wanted very much to meet with President Trump, with the President of the United States. And I think that Putin got it, and it's a pity.
Now President Trump says he's prepared to host European leaders in the U.S. this week to discuss the war. ABC pressed the president on next steps.
Well, nobody was tougher in Russia than me. I'm not happy. I'm not happy about the whole situation.
The special presidential envoy for Ukraine posted on social media warning this latest attack was not a signal that Russia wants to, quote, diplomatically end this war. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
It's been in the making for quite a while, but now the new Victoria County Animal Services building is close to completion. Mark Sloat, director of the Victoria County Animal Services, says that some of the benefits of the new location will be a larger office and kennel space. In addition, the facility will be fully climate controlled. For better comfort for both the animals and staff, the location is the former Victoria Air office.
It's a lot larger space. It's about 16,000 feet inside square feet. It's heated and air conditioned, whereas our kennels right now are mostly heated because we're in Texas. but in the wintertime, they're not. There's very little heating. They're indoor-outdoor runs, whereas the new facility will be all indoor.
Sloat says they are hoping for October as a possible new opening date. The new location will be on the corner of Prophet Drive and Lavier Street. Also new with the Victoria County Animal Services, they are now better equipped to not only help animals, but also people who are struggling. Mark Sloat says that 2 officers on his staff have become certified in adult mental health first aid. Sloat says that animal rescue calls may have people with mental health issues on site. Sloat says now they can better help both animals and people in crisis.
It helps the officers be more aware of where somebody might be at in their mental health crisis, if they're in crisis. And honestly, it's a lot of what not to do so that we don't push somebody the wrong direction towards self-harm or something. And also helps us understand better, like when to call in, a higher level of care for those people.
For more on Victoria County Animal Services, visit vctx.org, or if you see someone struggling mentally, or if you are struggling mentally, call or text 988. The time is now 6:47 on our Monday morning. Still to come on Sunrise. A fatal incident on a commuter train raises questions about mental health and public safety. All right, now it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Anne. Happy birthday, Anne. Hope you have a great day. Wishing you many more to come. Love from Mom, Angie, JR, Sarah, Gabby, Kat, Jasmine, Shy, and Aaliyah.
Oh, happy birthday, Anne. And also happy birthday to Roman. Happy 25th birthday to our son, Roman. Lots of love from Mom and Adam.
And happy birthday to Alicia Beth Moore, better known as the pop singer Pink. She's turning 46 today.
Ooh, happy birthday to Pink. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Just click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, the time is now 6:48 on our Monday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today, or if you got to celebrate over the weekend. I know right. I had Madeline and Desi celebrate birthdays, so happy birthday.
That's right. Happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all saw the 7-day forecast just a few moments ago, and you saw for the entire week we're looking pretty sunny. So with that being said, make sure you got your sunglasses packed. And why that is because we're going to be sitting underneath what's called a stable environment in the atmospheric science world, which we're going to look at here in just a second, because before we look at that, you're going to notice low temperatures are going to be quite nice to us for the next few nights. Mid-upper 60s for tonight into tomorrow morning, and then maybe even low 60 for Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning. But as we go into later this week, you're going to notice the winds will start to shift back out of the southeast, out of the Gulf, and that will come back. That'll bring our lows back into the low and maybe even mid 70s by later this week. So y'all, I hope y'all enjoy the kind of cooler 60s for the next few nights, because it's only going to be around for just a little bit. And all that is going to be thanks to the sunshine that will be heating us up for the rest of this week, and also the southerly winds returning. But the sunshine is going to be with us for several days. You just saw it right there because of a few factors. First of all, we have a stable atmosphere over our head, which means that air parcels cannot freely lift or accelerate into the air to create showers or clouds. And that's going to be because of sinking motion underneath high pressure, this big old ridging pattern. You see this omega shape right there? That's what's called ridging. And that's going to bring us a pretty stable environment for the next several days and lots of sunshine. But also something else interesting happening is there's the Atlantic. There's nothing happening out there, and it's the peak of the season. Pacific, that's a different story, with Kiko heading north of Hawaii. And we're going to look at all of that and more later on Sunrise.
Now to a disturbing crime on a commuter train in North Carolina. The murder of a young woman now putting the spotlight on the judicial system and how we as a nation confront mental illness. ABC's Perry Russum has the story.
Authorities in North Carolina have released surveillance video of the unprovoked murder of a woman on a Charlotte commuter train.
There needs to be change.
We are not showing the attack, but moments after this video was taken, 23-year-old Irina Zarutska took a seat in front of the man on the right in the red hoodie and began scrolling on her phone. After a few minutes, police say the man identified as 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown took out a pocket knife, stood up, and stabbed Zarutska several times. Passengers rushed to help her, but it was too late.
Very alarming as a woman who rides solo. People have harassed other people. You can tell that they're probably not mentally well.
Brown was arrested after stepping off the train and faces first-degree murder charges. He has more than a dozen convictions dating back to 2014. His own mother says this tragedy could have been prevented. She says after he served 5 years in prison for armed robbery, Brown began to behave strangely. She says she got an involuntary commitment order and he was placed under psychiatric monitoring, diagnosed with schizophrenia. But she says he got so aggressive, she had to kick him out of her house. Earlier this year, he called 911, making what police describe as paranoid claims. A judge ordered a competency evaluation, but he remained a free man. The case highlighting challenges in the judicial system when it comes to mental health. A retired judge saying resources are spread too thin. As for Zarutska, her family says she was a talented young artist who had come to the U.S. to flee the war in her home country of Ukraine. Charlotte's mayor is pushing for more investment in mental health resources. One local official saying that the major issue is that standards for involuntary commitment is complex and can take years to navigate. Perry Russum, ABC News, New York.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A historic jackpot was claimed recently. Learn what it means for the next big draw. A nearly $1.8 billion Powerball jackpot finally found winners during Saturday night's drawing. Saturday night's Powerball drawing turned up 2 winners. The winning tickets sold in Texas and Missouri will share nearly $1.8 billion. The identities of the winners have not been released. With Saturday's winners, the Powerball jackpot is now estimated at $20 million. The next drawing is tonight. Hurricane Kiko is weakening but remains a major hurricane on a track that could take its center to the north of the Hawaiian Islands in the coming days. The National Hurricane Center says Kiko has been downgraded to a Category 2 storm. While there are no current hurricane watches or warnings in place, the Hurricane Center advises the Hawaiian Islands to continue monitoring Kiko's progress. More Texas universities are turning to politicians to lead their systems, preferring political clout over academic credentials. You can read the story by the Texas Tribune on crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, or Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a final look at our forecast with Parker. Parker, can we expect more of that rain?
Nope, we got pretty much no rain back in the forecast for the rest of this week, y'all. So you can pretty much, I can safely say, put away your umbrella and get out the sunglasses because we're going to be looking for lots of sunshine for the next several days. And speaking of that, look at our pretty sunrise coming over us this morning. Look at all the pink in the sky out there right now. Starting out the day in Victoria, we're 72 degrees. The front has not passed us just yet, but you can see little glimpse of that trying to make its way through. The dew point has now dropped down to 69 in Victoria. Just about 20 minutes ago, it was 71 degrees. And if you look at the humidity map, why we're looking at that is because we're not going to really see it on the temperature map. It's a really weak and dry cool front. You can see it's a little bit drier behind the front, 61% humidity in Houston, but still about 90-something% here in Victoria. But after the front passes, we're looking at a pretty nice day today, so y'all enjoy it. We're looking at temperatures mid-80s at noontime, low 90s for the high today, with wind gusts up to 15 miles an hour at times out of the northeast. Same thing in Victoria, 91, maybe 92 for the high today, and the same thing in Cuero, 92, maybe even 93. So y'all enjoy this lovely day, I think, that's coming our way before the heat is pretty much back. We're right back to the sunshine and the mid-90s highs, and lows will be right back in the 70s.
I'm laughing, Parker, because Tony says he's going to try the bacon and eggs your way.
Oh, do it. It's really yummy. Do it.
All right, well, thank you, and thank you for joining us, and be sure to join Shauna, John, and Maclovia and Mac today for News at 5, 6, and 10.